Alright guys, welcome back to another Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade video. In today's video, the the global side is under maintenance right now. I'm trying to find a good background audio. Global side is under a maintenance right now, so I can't really record too many videos. So I figured, why not make a tier list? I mean, everyone is doing that. Dime a dozen is making some tier lists, so fuck it. I guess I'll throw my hat into the mix and give my thoughts, my 2 cents on a lot of these characters. And trust me, there's a ton of characters here. Some of their placements may surprise you, and I'm just gonna nip it in the bud while I can. JP only. And I'm going to throw all the JP related characters in there. All these guys that I just haven't used, haven't seen. I don't know anything really about them. They're all going in here. Sukuna, I know who. Everyone knows who Sukuna is. He's been out for a while. But for the sake of it, I'm just going to put him right there. And this is a global only tier list currently for where we're at in this game. So, all right. So, first things first, where am I going to put some of these characters? Now, keep in mind, the SP buffs haven't dropped on global yet. So, a lot of these placements, especially to those JP players, might be a little bit like wonky. Like, why the hell does he have him there? And some of these characters I straight up just don't have. Maybe I've used them as a friend, but, just keep that in mind. My placement might not be 100% like all these other players out there, all these other cats who have every single player character maxed out, max dupe. Like I'm not him. I'm not one of those guys. I'm like a light spender pretty much. So maybe you take my tier list for a grain of salt, but I figured screw it. We might as well at least. I want to throw my hat in the ring. So let's just start out with Maki. Maki is hard to gauge. I mean, I had her when I started out, and she was great whenever I had like no characters, but there's just so many better red options. I'm gonna have to put her. Are you using her over Red Toji? As far as red physical attackers, absolutely not. So I'm gonna put her down in B tier. She's an okay unit, but moving right up next is Toto. I would put him. He's got some versatility. He's got some usability. I would say, he's a very niche unit. But I'm gonna have to put him in this tier right now. So on to the next one. I would say Hanami is actually one of the first S tier units. Hanami's got some good debuffing advantage. That domain does some pretty good damage, and it debuffs everyone. So for that, Hanami has been very useful for me for making sure some of those enemies stay pretty weak and keeping the debuffs going. I really like Hanami a lot. Now, also, I guess I should suffice to say that, the way I have this tier list structured is it's very clear, like, how this is going to go. Like A tier isn't bad. B tier isn't bad. If there's a character I really think deserves it, I might make a tier for like shit tier, like shitty units. But in this game, almost every unit in this game has some sort of like usability. You really can't go wrong with a lot of these units. And I know I've just kind of jumped right into it with some of these characters, but some of these characters, like rare characters, this is what I like about this game. Even rare characters have some usability. There are some very good SRs and rare characters. And it reminds me, if you've ever played Dokkan, early Dokkan, remember if you've ever played that, Oceanus Shinron, if you're an OG Dokkan player, you know why Oceanus Shinron was the GOAT. All right. I'm just going to leave it at that. Or how about what is his name? General Blue. I might be talking straight gibberish to some of you guys, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But I really like this game because these non-super rare characters have some usability. But, all right. Blue Gojo. Blue Gojo is very good. I'm putting him in SS tier. He has been super, super useful for me and my teams when I was starting. He was the first SSR I pulled. And he is very good for nuking. If you want to go that route on some tower floors, he is essential for nuking some of those floors. Now, I understand everyone hates the emergency function of him where he leaves after, like 7 turns. But when you're in tower, the difficult content of this game, 7 turns is nothing, you know. Early game, whenever you have this guy and you're kind of getting pissed off because, shit, one of my characters technically died because he left through emergency. I'm not getting the 3 stars and I'm not getting the cubes. Yeah, that's fucking annoying. I've run across that a number of times when using this guy. But trust me when I say, if you have this guy, later content, like mid to late, I wouldn't say late tower floors, but mid tower floors, he's been very useful. Early to mid tower floors, he is cleared. So for that reason alone, I'm going to put him there. Blue Megami, I'm going to put in S plus tier. He is a very solid like sub DPS. Whenever this Gojo has not done the best for me or he's left, this Blue Megami has usually been a pretty good sweeper, pretty good character to have. I really liked him. He's outshined by his domain expansion Megami, spoiler alert, just a little bit. I would say he still has a lot of versatility, and I think, I don't know, does he have SP buffs on JP? I'm not entirely sure yet, but for that, I'd be comfortable with either S or S plus. Now let's put him S tier for now, but he's like top of S tier. He's really good. Jogo. Now, I understand some JP players are going to be mad because he has his SP buffs and he should be like right here, if not here. I know some people compare his damage output to Sukuna's once he is fully SP buffed and everything, but currently on global, he's sitting at probably here. He's not very usable. His damage isn't that great. Once he gets his SP buffs, he's shooting up here to this tier like instantly. I'm sure, but right now I'm not too crazy about him. Green Nanami, he has some usability. I would say he's a very good unit. He's kind of dated in terms of, you know, like we got better Nanami. We got this yellow Nanami who I feel like does everything he's doing, but a little bit better. But he's not a bad option for green if you don't have this green Itadori, or if you don't have a, you know, Hollow Purple Gojo or this Mahito. He's not a bad option, especially starting out. I would say right next to him is pretty solid in my opinion. Now this green Yuji, I'm a little biased. I like him a lot. He's been a great unit. I always use him, and he never fails to do a good job for me. I'm a little biased in the fact that I have him max dupe, though. I've pulled him so many times. So for that reason, I might be a little biased putting him up here in the units that I really like, use a ton of times. He's a very good unit. You know, he's all physical attack, but, you know, you throw like-minded sisters on him, and he's just cooking with some damage, high damage. The only issue I've seemed to run into him is his curse energy kind of runs low fast. But, so like those triple kicks, you can't really activate all that often, but I still like him. He's been a great unit, in my opinion. Now, this guy... Now, I know he's not fantastic. He really is, you know, he's kind of a niche unit. He's a tank in a game where, you know, tanking is kind of strange. You know, he's got a resurrection status, which is nice. But with him, he was the first unit. I think after that Blue Gojo, I pulled him like 4 times in a row. I think I max dupe him like on my first week of playing this game. I pulled him that many times. So he was very good, very solid. I'll put him top of S because I know like at max dupe he's only pretty all right. He's good. But, you know, again, A, S, this is all good tiers. Like none of these characters are necessarily bad. But as far as the other characters, I'm not really concerned with running him. Anytime I ever hit that resurrection status with him where he dies and comes back, he typically just dies again, and he doesn't really stay around that long. But you know, he's always been there. He's been a good solid option with me for the beginning. For that reason, I'm putting him in S tier. This yellow Toge I haven't used that much actually. I just recently pulled him, and he's currently my wish list character. From what I'm gathering, he's a good dude, good character. So I'm inclined to put him right up here. But I really don't know. I haven't used him too much, unfortunately. So for that reason, he's going in the S tier. No, Toji. So far I'm putting him top of the tier. He has been phenomenal. He he heals himself. He does AoE damage. He break damage with his skill 3. That he skill 1 he lowers their defense, their crit resistance, I believe. He is just an all around amazing red DPS. People compare him with Yuta. Some people say Yuta is the best red DPS. I'm biased. I don't fucking have Yuta at all. I know Yuta is probably like sitting like right here, but realistically, I'm just going to throw Yuta in here. I guess he's like right here for me because I've never used him. I know he's objectively good, and I can't lower him in the tiers because of that. So I'm going to put him right there. But I would say Toji is my favorite character to run. If I have an opportunity to run him, I'm thrilled to bits. You put this Toji with this Hanami debuffs them, keeps their damage down, and kind of pacifies them. And this guy just kind of cleans house, and he does AoEs. He's a phenomenal unit. I love this Toji. Yellow Nobara is an interesting one. I would put her probably here. She's been good, but she's never been like outstanding or one of those characters that like really sticks out to me. Right now, she's really low level. I've got both other Nobaras, and I like them both more than her. I get it. She's like the first Nobara that came out. And once she gets some SP buffs, I believe she has SP buffs. She'll probably be up way higher. But for now, I mean, I've got her like level 89. And, that might have something to do with it. Maybe I need to invest more into her. But right now, I'm not too impressed with her. Now, this Junpei, I've never used him. I'm putting him in B tier. Listen, I understand. There's maybe like 2 stages, I believe, in Tower at the high floor where this guy becomes like, he's the honored one. He's the honored one because he is fulfilling that one specific niche. But beyond that, I've never used him. I'm throwing him down here. I'm just straight up throwing him down here. I know he's got that. I'll put him right here just for the sake of brevity that, I know he has those specific stages where he excels. But other than that, like, who's using him? Who's using him over fucking Toge or, domain expansion Megami, who is phenomenal? I don't think so. He's a whatever unit. Right now, at least. Once I get to that tower stage, I might be more inclined to raise him up above Jogo, but he's a whatever unit. I'm not crazy about him, but I'm sure he's not terrible. Now, Blue Ghetto. I know Blue Ghetto is a very good unit. He gets some buffs, and he is a very, very good unit, and he's coming back on global. I think that's actually what the maintenance right now is for, is bringing him back to global for his banner. That being said, I've never used him, but I know he's objectively probably around this area, if I had to guess. I just for sake that I haven't used him, I'll put him in S tier, not S plus. I don't want to be overzealous and give him too much credit if I've never used them, But I understand, from what I understand, he's about right there. Now, Domain Expansion Megami is a very good unit. I'm putting him, I think, top of S plus tier. He's been a very solid unit for me. He has gone out of the way and helped assist in clearing some tower floors. His stun has been very helpful. He's a good all-around unit. He was actually the first unit like I was summoning for really hardcore. I was grinding the story way back when I started because I've been playing since I think his banner, and I was doing all the story content trying to clear it and just to get this guy, and I ended up pulling him on like a guaranteed unfeatured ticket whenever the the standard banner update, which I was really thrilled about. Honestly, I was really happy about that. So he's a good unit. Probably the best Megami in the game currently, until Green Megami, from what I understand, is very good for sweep. So we'll get to him later. But for standard units, I'd say this is the best Megami. Red Yuji. I really like him. You're going to see a common theme with all these Yujis. I don't think there's a bad one out there. All these Yujis are very solid. I really like how there's a Yuji for each type. They all fill the same role. This guy gets black flashes. He's a very, very good unit. Hold on one second. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Where was I? Oh, yeah, Yuji. Red Yuji. I really like how a lot of these Yujis have like a purpose. They fill a physical attacking DPS role on each and every team. You got red, blue, and yellow. I mean, you got one for each type. And I'd probably put these three around the same level. There's not too crazy many differences between the two. I think this guy has a resurrection status, so I'd put him above those two slightly. I'm trying to remember. I think he's good DPS. Once this guy gets SP buffs, he might be raised. But as far as yellow UG, I don't have him. I know he's fantastic. I know he's like right here in this tier, but I don't have him. He shafted me on that banner. I think I went to pity, and I was a goober. I was a dummy, and I transferred those pity tickets, so I didn't end up getting him because I didn't think I would go that far to pity. And look at me now. I'm like 250 in on this banner without a UG, and I could have had him. So, sucks to suck, but that's life. UG's one of my favorite characters. Same with Sukuna. I was really upset to not get him, but it is what it is. This is kind of my placement of these UGs. They're pretty solid characters. I'd put these two maybe above this UG right there. But I also don't like Hanami being that low on S+, but I guess that's just how it is. These characters are pretty damn good. I'll put it like this. How about that? I think I could live with that. As far as this UG, I think he's objectively right here, but I don't want to overrate these characters when I haven't even used them, so I'll put him right there. I guess I also don't want to underrate them, but whatever. I'm putting him in there. Now, Hollow Purple Gojo. He has been a great unit. He's objectively better than this Blue Gojo in every way, I'd say. So I'll put him right there. I think that's fair. Do I want to drop down Blue Gojo? Maybe here? Yeah, I think I'll do that. Blue Gojo's great. Everyone in S tier, S+ tier, SS tier are great, but they're in their own ways. They're definitely Nanami is not the same league as I would say these guys, but it kind of blends together. But Green Gojo, he nukes. He does 2,000% cursed technique damage on his Hollow Purple. What is this fucking music? All right. Anyway, sorry. I was playing some stuff for the background, but I think it sounds like banjos and weird shit. So, yeah, he's a great unit. High DPS. He saves your sanity on some of those tower floors for sure. He helps you those little weak level ones to those mid-level tower floors. I think he has some very good value. He just nukes them off the field. Great unit, one of the better Gojo units. He absolutely earns a spot in the SS tier. All right, now on to Momo. This Momo, I'm putting in SS tier. She is a phenomenal support. She does so much for the team. She raises their attack. She raises their crit chance. Great unit to have. One of the best supports in the game. She deserves her spot on the SS tiers as far as support. Now, this guy is whatever. Top of A, I would say. Noritoshi Kamo, he is a all right guy. If you don't have a better option for blue, he's okay. He's helped me a little bit for some floors, but, as far as characters go, he's a blue DPS, but, if you're going to use a blue DPS, you might as well, use this guy or maybe this guy would all be better options than this Noritoshi Kamo for sure. He's just whatever. Red Nobara. I like Red Nobara. Red Nobara would be... I know she gets I know she gets some SP boost that bring her up to this tier or this tier. I like her somewhere in the middle of maybe top of A or bottom of S, I would say currently without her SP buffs. She's good. I like her. I would say right here is fine. She's better than this one, I think. Mechamaru, I don't have. I don't have at all. This is might be the one unit I just throw down here for the sake because I don't know anything really about them. I've never used them. I've never once been able to utilize them. I've been able to use some of the units for friends, but he's the one unit I think so far on this list that I don't know shit about. So unfortunately, I'm sure he's an A or S tier unit, I think, if I had to guess, but I can't place him with full confidence. Now, this Blue Toto, He has some use. I would say he's a little better than the Red Toto, but I mean, he has his uses in some tower stages. Don't get me wrong, but he's not going to be doing anything spectacular. He's not going to fill a lot of super niche roles besides maybe a two floors and tower. But so other than that, I mean, I don't see much value out of him. I'd put him probably above Kamo for sure. Actually, top of A tier is where I feel comfortable with him. Mahito though, I would say an S tier, SS tier. Probably I put him right here. He's really good. He's a good unit, great unit. I like him a lot. He does a lot of role filling on the green team. You know, when this guy can't fulfill the role to wipe out the team, he usually is the filler. He usually is the bread and butter of the team. You get his domain expansion. You can rush into his domain expansion with his ever changing. I think he draws attack and he has high evasion. He's a very good unit. You can't go wrong. Out of all the free to play like disaster curses like him, and Hanami, he's the better of the three until Jogo gets his SP buffs and that shoots him up. But right now, he's the best one. Absolutely a great pick. And if you're doing those Phantom medals, he should be the first one that you grab, followed by Hanami, followed by Jogo. That is until Jogo gets his SP buff. So the problem with Jogo is that even if you get him, you need to get his stats to level 10 just to get that SP buff later on. I know I'm saying SP buff, and some global players are like, what the hell is that? Yeah. When it comes around, it'll be coming around in about 2 weeks. I'll make a video on that and explaining that in full detail. Anyways, yeah, I'm comfortable with top of S+. Panda... I don't like him as much as the green, so I would put him right here. Yeah, I don't like him as much as the green. He's got like a healing factor with his sausages or whatever, but if I'm being entirely honest, I've not really used him. I haven't seen much of a need. You know, red DPS with Toji, Hanami, sub DPS, and Yaga has been sufficient, or maybe this guy. I'll get into these two in a second. They're phenomenal. But you know, he doesn't really have a role. You know, red is kind of stacked as is. You don't need him at all. He's a whatever unit. If you have him, again, A tier, not necessarily bad units, but like compared to everything else, yeah, it's no competition. He's going there. It's whatever. Yellow Nanami, I really like. I really like Yellow Nanami. I'd be willing to put him like S+ tier. He's a very solid yellow DPS or sub DPS. I would, you get him in conjunction with maybe, this guy is probably the best yellow DPS currently. It's debated between these two. I'm just gonna spoiler and put him. He's my favorite. He's my favorite Gojo, so I'm putting him there. But this Nanami is a solid unit. You really can't go wrong. If you ever pull him, you should be happy. Better than him though. In some certain situations, yeah, I'd be comfortable with putting them right around here. Yeah, but this Gojo, I didn't really get to talk about. He's phenomenal. He's a Gojo that, as busted as these Gojo units are, but he doesn't have the emergency where he has to leave. So he's a Gojo that you just get. The only downside is you have to continuously use his was it skill 2 or skill 3 to keep him from taking damage, and even then, I mean, he's not impervious to all damage. He's a fair unit. He's a high damage yellow GPS. Yeah, it might be closer to that, honestly. I don't know. He's a very good DPS. People say, fight back and forth on whether who's better than these two. They're both good DPSs, but I think Yuji in a vacuum, whenever he gets his perfect runs, he's better. But as far as consistency and taking no damage, I like him a lot. Again, I'm biased. I don't have this Yuji. I wish I did, but I do like this guy quite a bit. I might even personally put him right here. They're both interchangeable for me. So, yeah. Green Ghetto, I know he is a great unit. Ghetto's units in general are like S tier from the get go. I don't have any of them, unfortunately. I really wish I did, but as far as I know, this Ghetto is very good for green units, green teams. He's a good like support. He offers some critical roles for the green teams. But if you had to ask me exactly what he did, it would be difficult for me, and I wish I knew better. I know this guy, he needs cursed energy. If he's anything like the blue Ghetto, I'm sure he's good. You can't go wrong. I don't I don't have them, but I know they're pretty good units, both those Ghettos. This Miwa, I believe she has a simple domain encounter, if I had to be right. Or is that a different one? I think that might be this one, actually. Shit. I don't know a whole lot about her, so unfortunately I'm going to have to put her in B. This Saki Rindo, I think, is pretty solid. I know once she gets SP buff, she's like here, but I don't have her. It's hard for me to gauge. I wish I had her. I know she's a solid DPS, so for that reason, if I had to venture any guess, might be like right here or something. Yeah, I could see that. Yaga, very, very good. I wouldn't say he's the best support in the game, but he's top of S plus. He's in this range. He's a very good unit. If you have pulled him, consider yourself lucky. He's like this SR Yaga, but a little bit better. Do I want to put him right here? I don't know. I might. I don't know. I would say these guys are interchangeable. You can't go wrong. Really good at support, though. This Nanami, unfortunately, don't have. Really wish I did. This Maki, I do have, actually, though. She is a very good green DPS. Comparable, I would say, to him. Maybe a little bit better. Yeah, I could swing with it being right there. She has an AOE. She's a good unit. I've enjoyed using her for what it's worth. She's been the first Maki. She makes this Maki look like a joke. I don't think anyone in their right mind cares about this Maki. This Mai don't have. This Inimaki don't have. Now this Nobara. Hold on, I'm gonna make it another tier. Oh, motherfucker. I just changed that whole thing. Just do B and boop. And let's change this to don't have tier. Because, unfortunately, I'm not a whale. I wish I was, but... Mother trucker. I am just not doing this right. Yeah, so let's just throw all the ones I don't have in here. Because it feels disingenuous to put them all in the same tier as a character that I have used. And don't really like. I think she's one of the worst SSRs in the game. She doesn't have much value. This Green Nobara, though, like right up here, somewhere like that. Yeah, she's a very good unit. I like her a lot. She black flashes. She's a great unit. Good DPS to have. I've noticed green has been kind of a trend with I've been getting lucky on, but oh shit. No, we don't want her down there. God, how has Hanami fallen this far? Like, this is all, like, solid units. These are all good units. And Hanami's down here. I in my mind, Hanami's one of my favorite red units, and she's already down here. But it just goes to show how good, like, these characters are. Green Megami. Now, I know I put this Megami right here, and I said he's the best, but I think, from what I understand, when Sweep comes out, he's very good for Sweep. So, I'm just... For the sake of it, I'm putting him right next to it. I think he might be better in certain situations, though. This Kaido Yuki, I think, is a very good support unit. I think he's a very good support unit. If you pull him, you're lucky. Unfortunately, don't have him, but I know he is a good unit, objectively. So I'm putting him in here. So, like, I know I don't have some of these units, like, but I know they're usable and they're pretty good characters. So I am still going to rank some of them. But characters I don't know shit about, I'm not going to lie and say they're right up here. Now, I saved this tier for one man and one man alone, and that's my boy Domain Expansion Gojo. He is phenomenal. He is a wonderful unit. He has been doing so much work, and he's been paying the bills. He's been buying me Lamborghinis. He's been taking me out to dinner and calling me sweet names. That's how amazing this Honored One Gojo is. You can't go wrong. If you pulled this guy, if you pulled just one of this guy, consider yourself lucky, pat yourself on the back, you won the lottery. He is going to save you so much time, stress, effort, just by his domain expansion where he just, you win. You get his domain expansion, you win. That's just how it is. Genuinely. If you die after his domain expansion, you got some DPS issues perhaps, or maybe debuffing issues. But if you have this guy, he's a win con. You can't go wrong with this guy. Genuinely. I love him. He's one of my favorite units. You can't go wrong with this Gojo. Miguel, I don't know shit about. I think he's like, if I had to guess, like here or here, but I don't have him. We're gonna skip some of these SSR units and only focus on the ones that actually matter. This Yaga deserves an honored one slot in of his own right. I'm gonna put him top of SS tier. Some people might be like, you're fucking crazy. Some people might understand. He is invaluable to have in some tower floors. This SR Yaga puts in so much work for the team just by himself. You cannot go wrong with this guy. You cannot go wrong with this character. He does so much. I think, objectively, I don't have this Yaga, but I know he's like in ways better than this SR Yaga. So, I mean, it maybe seems weird. I guess I should put him like right next to it, like right here. He's just, I would put him higher just for the sake of how easy he is for most players to have. Like, most players don't have this guy. This guy is just so easy to have. Every account that's played for like longer a week is going to have him. And he's just puts in so much work. He increases the value of your account by so much. You can do so much more just from having this SSR. So for the sake of it, I'll put him like right here. I can't in good conscience rate him higher than the SSR solely because of the fact that I haven't had the SSR. I just know he's in some circumstances better. Most circumstances probably. But, for just how valuable and how easy he is to obtain, he's in the SS tier. If you have him, you're doing great. Anonymity, I would say also the same thing. He's easy to get and he provides so much utility just for your team, just for having him. So if you have this guy, the best thing about it is, you run these two together on maybe red team. Let's throw this together. Here's a quick team. DPS, Toji, him, these two together. I mean, that already is a great red team. You're just sitting there, maybe a little bit difficult with some cursed energy. Maybe you want to throw in another character that is phenomenal, red. This guy's good. And this guy, like, spoiler alert, but rare characters and SR characters. I'm probably going to throw these around maybe a little bit, but you get the picture. These are characters that, you have these guys. They just do so much work for your team. They do so much work for your account just from having these top layer characters. These characters, same thing, but maybe a little less. Like, you can get by without this. Oh my God, my cat is just being annoying. Stop. You can get so much stuff done with the with these characters, but this like layer right here, if you have these characters, it's invaluable. It genuinely is. This guy, he's adding extra attack. This guy's adding extra attack. This guy, I believe, you're able to boost everyone's defense and boost their ultimate gauge with him. He's awesome for that. And then this guy gives everyone cursed technique, or not cursed technique, but cursed energy just for being on the field. So you run these two guys together pretty often. Usually you'll run this guy too, and you'll run a nuker. You run 1, 2, 3, or no, you'll run 1, 2, 3, a nuker, whether it's him or him, I guess you could consider maybe him, I've used it, and I've beaten tower floors just from that team. Like, that's a very, very good team setup. Like, these characters, this isn't like late stage Dokkan or late stage, I don't know, Legends, I guess, maybe. Like, SRs and rares are actually very good units, and you can't go wrong with them. And then the last character I'll rank is probably him. He's not the best unit, but he's had some good moments. Same thing with him. Um, Gaku Ganji. Oh, I can't forget Gaku Ganji. Gaku Ganji, I would put him maybe not above Yaga, but right there. These are the cream of the crop of units. You got these guys in the S tier. You're doing just fine. You're doing amazing, and you are going to kick some ass. You could put together team combinations with these. Most tower stages, if you ever hit the clear formation button, you see what other people are running. It's a variation of, Yaga, Gaku Ganji, this Nanami, this guy, and then maybe one of these. Maybe not these 2 or 3, but, you get the point. You run in maybe him, maybe him, maybe him, maybe him, maybe him. I mean, some of these guys, Domain Megami, I mean, these are all common units you're going to be seeing, like, from here onward of tower. You might see occasionally, like, some of these. I would say Hanami might actually be higher because you see Hanami pretty frequently. Yeah, I would say just for tower, Hanami is higher up on that list. And once these SP buffs come in, like, these guys are going to be higher on the list. But yeah, I could sit here and probably meticulously put these guys in order, but realistically, I'm pretty happy with this. Like, you get the whole picture. This is essential teams, essential units, great units to have, good niche units that can fit some roles. They're not terrible, but, very, very niche most of the time is these characters, and then just Maki. I don't fucking care for this Maki. These characters I wish I used or have a better idea, and JP only, self-explanatory. I'm pretty happy with this tier list. I think I'm pretty happy. This is what I have in my mind when I think about these units, like how they are functionally on the totem pole. I'm not to say that, one unit is specifically better than the other. Like, I know it's pretty argued that Yuji might be better than this guy, but from my experience, I really like that Gojo. And ultimately, despite what this tier list is or says, use the characters you want. Use the characters that you like. That is probably the best advice I could give anyone trying to play this game is, there's always going to be new characters coming out. Just look at this stacked. Just look down here. These characters like Sukuna is probably going to be right there, if not there. This guy probably right there. This guy I think is like maybe here. Mei really good DPS. I think all these guys. He might be the only one on S tier. Don't know. She actually might be S tier. Whenever her teen version comes out with the green one that comes out with this guy, she'll probably be right up here. Let's be real, it's probably going to be something like in this mixture, like a mixed bag between the two, depending on what you want. Sukunu's best DPS. He's the best support. He's a good mix of both. You really can't go wrong. I wouldn't say mix of both. He might be actually a better DPS than Sukuna, just for the fact of what he does. He does a huge hollow purple nuke, and he's got some good versatility. It could be any variation. These are the 3 like honored one characters. These are like the 3 greatest characters. Yuji or him might be a little lower, but I'm happy with this. If you guys have any questions, again, this is ultimately just what I think in my mind when I think of these characters. Use the characters you want. I'm not telling you what to use, who's better than who. If you guys disagree, I love to see it. That's perfectly fine. I'm sure I have some takes in this that had people scratching their heads, but if you agree with me, disagree with me, leave your opinion why in the comments. I would love to read it. Tell me your opinion on some of these characters, where you think they deserve to be on the placement, because I genuinely don't have a clue. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.